Just in case you didn't see it, the press said, a no communication order has been filed in the Melly trial. The order makes Melly and Bortlen completely separate. No talking, no lawyer talk, just silence, as Melly got his revenge for the prosecutors' desire for Bortlen to turn on him. Since Melly and Bortlen will be tried together in the upcoming trial, the prosecution is pressuring Bortlen to come clean.
Together, it is to the benefit of the state to try them together, just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again, do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. They're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
Bortlen will probably point the finger at Melly, just as Melly did against Bortlen during the previous trial, since he won't be able to physically sit there and take life in jail to the chin if he knows he didn't do this heinous crime.
Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
Demonstrating that Bortlen was always the one who misled the federal authorities about the event and claimed to have been the last person to see Juvian's sack chaser. They even had an investigator mention the gunpowder that was discovered on Bortlen's hands.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of shot residue and two component particles. And the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of shot residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was shot residue present on the hands.
Bortlen detested this, so he tweeted, "Mind games don't work on people like me," accompanied by a handshake symbol after Melly was given a mistrial. It's like he's agreeing to a deal of some kind, but it gets worse when you witness Bortlen being questioned by police the night of the crime and lying to them to protect Melly.
Hey, tell me what happened.
Man, I was playing music, getting off the exit. I was already getting sleepy, almost home, you know what I'm saying? And like, just out of nowhere, like, I just heard, you know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car,
Hey, well,
and I almost crashed the car.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the studio, from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
I took I-75, 595 to
75.
Expressway.
Then you took 75 south.
The officers can see that High's explanation doesn't make up, but Bortlen made an effort to maintain his credibility, but he would eventually be exposed for lying.
The hard part, where we're having a hard time to understand, is that we shut down that entire area, and we had officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as 1 shell casing. They didn't find 1 piece of glass. Nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's the classic.
I mean, for whatever reason, your 2 friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These my like.
These your 2, I'm assuming, close friends.
Yeah, we got.
And you're doing them an in-service by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, sir. I don't like. How? What do you want?
Well, how do you make shell casings disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell case?
Bortlen's in Twent, badly from this point on since the police didn't trust his account and started cutting him off.
I told y'all the story, and that's it, bro. I don't even talk about it anymore. Like, cause I told y'all. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Okay, just so you know, all right, because you're saying, well, I don't want to talk anymore. There's going to be a lot more questions. There's, and we're not trying to piss you off. The thing is, we don't know your friends.
Yeah.
So the reason we have to ask all these questions, because the more we know about your friends, your lifestyle, your friend's lifestyle, your friends, his friends, and the circumstances surrounding today, the more, the easier it's going to be for us to try and solve this.
Usually, at this point, the officer tries to restart the conversation and starts inquiring about other aspects of the evening, including what transpired during the drive-by.
I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here when you guys open the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
However, the officer inquired directly, if Bortlen knew who did the crime, would he tell the officer? Due to the time constraints on their interview.
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS, okay? And a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay? You may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of that. I wouldn't want to be.
Bortlen doesn't provide a firm response. Instead, he shakes his head because he was concerned that if he lied, his voice might have changed pitch under pressure. As interrogators' sole responsibility is to read the subject's body language, so it was clear to them that Bortlen was concealing something. However, in the most recent Melly case news on May 12th, a judge decided that the Florida rapper must remain in jail until the retrial starts in September. He has been imprisoned for 6 years, fighting the case in which he is accused of killing Juvie and Sack Chaser, and they were certain that he would be released after being found not guilty of all 6 charges, except bond.
Praying, I know, I said I would I'll keep everybody updated with what's happening. I know right now we're waiting. So basically the judge is going to do, I guess, a written order. So we're just waiting, and that order can come any minute, or it could come tomorrow. I don't know. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. So everybody just keep praying, keep having faith. Oh, Tessa, stop. I've been crying too. It's been a long time coming,
Melly is imprisoned for 2,300 days without bail or a guilty verdict after being bonded on one of his 6 accusations. He was able to obtain a bond on at least one of his charges despite a prior mistrial, but the prosecution turned to his ex-girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton, and his best friend Bortlen, because Mariah had been hiding out of the country since Melly's first trial, and they could use her as a witness now that she was back.
Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
Mariah had to consent to testify at the Melly trial in order to be released, which, to Melly's horror, she accepted. After doing so, she posted on Facebook, "Thank you to my village. I love y'all so much. God's plan, not mine." However, the authorities supposedly have a ton of proof that Melly witness tampered with Mariah in order to persuade her to leave the country. And even if he is found not guilty of removing sack chaser and juvie, he faces a life sentence in prison for witness tampering.
6 new charges against Demmons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
Because he saw somebody fiddling with the jail phones. Melly has been prohibited from using a phone for a number of months. Even his mother spoke out about it in an interview, stating that it's unfair.
I've been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
However, if Melly has indeed tampered with witnesses by using jail phones, that's why he hasn't been permitted on them. But Melly's attorneys have the option to challenge the bail refusal, as they want to reframe their case for the judge after. A post disclosed that Melly's attorneys suggested posting an unnamed bond of $300 that would be covered by his record label. Since Melly's lawyer mostly relies on his mother's evidence about how he isn't being treated humanely in jail, they informed the judge that if bond was granted, Melly would be placed under home arrest, wear an ankle monitor, and have 24-hour security to keep an eye on him.
You saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
They even displayed his text message and GPS data from the night it occurred. Ex-girlfriend regarding Melly's claim that there were people pursuing him.
The part where he's saying that someone just shut the car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah. He's like, yeah, there's some. I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're.
Furthermore, they never even located the gun that was Melly's, which further supports Melly's innocence. Attorneys claim that the individuals who conducted the drive-by would have taken off with.
The first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what